We're here with another episode of Games with Web3 Friends. We're here at NFT NYC 2023. We're here with Mike from Gen City Labs. Welcome.
Thank you.
We're excited with this little segment. We did it at ETH Denver. We're doing it here in NYC. You select Connect 4.
Only because I've seen your previous spots and Connect 4 looked like it had been neglected.
You know what? It had been neglected today. This is the first time we've done it today. So do you have any previous skills with this game? Somebody earlier today was like, it's a family game. It gets really serious.
I do have an 8-year-old and a 10-year-old. They're just young enough to not get too serious about it unless they lose, in which case it's very serious.
Okay, so this is practice a little bit.
That's right.
All right. Well, give us the elevator pitch on Gen City Labs and where you guys are based and a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so we're Gen City Labs. We're based in San Francisco. We are three things. First, we launched an NFT project called Non-Fungible Heroes in 2021. Did very well. We've got a really great community that's pushing that forward on the creative side. Second, we've been acting as an agency to help onboard brands into Web3. So my previous life, I started a company called Helios Interactive back in 2008. Creating innovative brand experiences in the event space.
Okay.
So doing things like the Olympics and the Super Bowl and festivals and trade shows and all sorts of different B2B and B2C events. And because I have a really great pedigree of working with Fortune 500 brands and introducing new technologies to them, it's not a far stretch to start having the discussion about what their Web3 strategy is going to be.
That feels like a perfect, if you will, to NFTs because I don't want to say a lot of it is event-based, but there's a core part of it that is event-based, and it's a niche understanding of what it means to put on a successful event, what you're going to take away. So that's a cool background.
Yeah, the other component of in real life events is that they are critically important to connection and community.
Sure.
Which kind of leads to the third part of our organization. We're building a platform for community engagement and reward.
Okay.
So it's a little bit of a Web3 loyalty program in a box.
Okay.
Built on invisible Web3 rails, but intended to appeal to mainstream audiences. So allowing us to give brands tools to reward their consumers, their community, their super fans for not just transacting, which is most programs today,
Sure.
but for participating. So connect with peers, engage with content, create your own content. It's kind of creating a comprehensive platform around that, but it really does start with the in real life event.
That's awesome. I'll give you the honors of going first. You select. Well, obviously, hopefully the other way.
The centerpiece.
There
Let's
we
go.
I like it. You mentioned something interesting there. Invisible rails. Tell me a little bit about what your goal is, with that. Are you thinking about?
Yeah, I think invisible Web3 rails are critically important right now. And you see folks like Starbucks who are building in Web3 with their Odyssey platform. They are not publicizing the fact that they're building in Web3.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's a really interesting approach because the mainstream, the masses, right? There's 400,000 wallets out there that care very much about NFTs.
Yeah.
And I'm amongst them, right? I'm an NFT native. There are, 400 million consumers that don't care. So when you start talking about mainstream audiences and about providing an on-ramp into the space, I think the invisible Web3 rails is an important part.
Sure.
Ownership as a concept is going to be very important for our digital lives in the future, but we're not there yet.
Yeah.
Right now we're trading privacy for convenience and efficiency, right? You can have all my data if I get something out of it. Eventually, that value exchange isn't going to be quite so lopsided, and people will have this concept that they'll pursue. Don't do it. Don't do it.
So what is this? What would you say is maybe the bigger unlock? And I know this is maybe the $1 million question, if you will. What do you think is going to be the tipping point for us to kind of get to those additional users that are interested? We're talking off camera of a digital collectible versus an NFT. We already have some big brands, Starbucks, that are coming into the space. What is going to be that tipping point that you see?
Yeah, what's the unlock? It really is the big question. Conceptually, I think that we are very much going to see a slow. I don't think there's going to be that aha moment, that iPhone moment, the 1,000 songs in your pocket moment that like burst open the MP3 player and iPod like Vault and Apple, or even for augmented reality, what we thought was the augmented reality moment with Pokemon Go, and it really hasn't progressed.
You don't think, yeah.
For me, the core concepts that drive Web3 adoption are digital identity, its community, its utility, and its financial value.
Yeah.
And it's that confluence of all of those. And I think it's going to be just a slow burn. Like,
Okay.
I don't know that there's going to be a moment where the switch flips and we all realize, oh my God, Web3 is amazing, because the public largely doesn't care about the underlying technology behind their experiences. They care about great experience.
Sure.
They care about connections.
Sure.
And that's what we're building towards. What we're building our platform towards is where we build all of our experiences towards.
Yeah. We're all obviously, growth is a huge thing in the Web3 space and whatnot. Specific to Gen City Labs, what does growth look like for you? Maybe even in the short term to maybe longer term. What do you guys think about that? You could take that from a product standpoint, or you could take that from a team standpoint.
Well, let's start with the team, because we actually just significantly grew our team. In fact, we doubled in size because I had sold my agency back in 2017 to a large events company.
Okay.
And then in 2021, branched off, helped start Heroes, started getting Gen City Labs rolling. And just recently, I actually had the opportunity to acquire my agency back. So we actually just doubled in size as a team, which is really awesome and really exciting. And
A lot of work.
it's crazy. And it's also the transition of a large team of people that are not Web3 native.
Sure.
Super talented, super amazing team.
Yeah.
And starting to get them to think about the implications of Web3. And the way that we're doing that is really taking that in real life event experience.
Yep.
It used to be you want a photo or you want something that memorializes your experience there. If you're at Coachella,
Yeah.
right, you see the Instagrammable moments and you're posting online because digital identity is important.
Sure.
Social capital is built by being at a cool event.
Yeah.
The photo op and the photo booth and the fact that it lives within Insta is going to start shifting, I think. And as you think about NFTs as a proof of attendance, right? As a social proof that says, I was at this thing, now I have this, now I have an asset, right? Now I've got something cool to remember about. And if it's nothing more than a piece of memorabilia, that's okay, right? That's great. But the opportunity to build on top of that, the opportunity to provide future utility. You attended last year, let's give you things this year.
100%.
Connect you with the people there last year. That's interesting. So that was kind of a shifty answer to the team that I'm getting to start think about it. But I do that in the context of we're starting the events. Creating community events is important.
Yeah.
Web3 is a means by which we can connect community to one another and make it more meaningful for them. And that gets everybody to start thinking about other experiences we can create, other innovations we can build to help foster, further that effort.
Do you feel some of that seeping in? Because that's that. What the example you just gave is really exciting. My cousins, I grew up going to their two females that were huge boy band fans, and so their rooms were like palaces of Backstreet Boys and insane.
Amazing.
And you think about it, like they worshiped them. Did they get the I mean, they every time they came to Milwaukee, they went to their concert. Did they get the benefit of? They were super fans. You know what I mean? What if you could have, even if you would have given them, a different colored T-shirt or something like that, it would have meant the world to them.
Yeah.
And think about how you could engage deeper. So.
Well, just think about when the Backstreet Boys show up at Summerfest.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, you had that NFT from 20 years ago, right?
Yeah.
When they were super hot. Hey, we want to do something special. We're going to do a special meet and greet for you.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God. It's either I still care about it, or hey, there's value embedded in that now, and I'm going to go
So
extract
doing
that out.
nothing but just being a being a fan.
That's the deal.
Yeah. So is that being at events? You got so much going on with an NFT collection yourself. What is next, if you will, for Gen City Labs? Because it seems like a lot.
It is. We're really focused on the platform.
Okay.
And we have this embedded agency services group.
Okay.
It's killing. We're doing awesome work. It's really fun. We're kind of back to hustling and grinding.
Yeah.
When we had been acquired, it was a big company, right? So living within big companies is a lot harder than being agile and
Sure.
independent. So we're going to continue down the services path with the team, and all the while we're starting to build modules that are part of the platform, and we're starting to apply them slowly, right?
Okay.
First, it's just going to be, hey, why don't you share your Twitter and your Discord with brand? And oh, by the way, if you are engaging with others in these spaces, not in a grindy way, but like authentically engaging, then you can start getting some points.
Yeah.
Those points are going to be valuable to you for next year's event,
Okay.
or for something else in that brand new. Right?
Okay.
Actually, it's the Snap framework or it's actually OSNAP, which was started by who's a Salesforce VP. OSNAP is ownership, then leads to status, networking, access, and perks. Oh, it's a really good one.
Yeah.
When you think about the primary motivations as a consumer, it's status, networking, access, perks kind of encompasses most.
Yep.
And perks are a little dangerous because that's typically your financial value, right? That's the actual tangible stuff.
And now all of a sudden Gary Gensler wants to know.
Totally, right? But the ability to provide those other elements, status is digital identity, social capital.
Sure.
Right? Networking is connection to community. Access is the utility moment of, I've got a thing and now I get VIP.
Yep.
I've got a thing and now I get access to a cool Zoom or a cool in person or something. Like, those are really meaningful. And it's about drawing out what incentives drive what behaviors and ensuring that we can do that in a really authentic way.
Okay, that's great. So the question that our community always has to know: are you hiring? Do you have any roles or some work on an events-based team that's dealing with NFTs? That's gotta be kind of.
I know it's really fun. We do really sexy stuff.
Yeah.
When we everything from music festivals to the Olympics to the Super Bowl and beyond. We also do Gordon.
Hey, it's part of that.
I won't name any of our clients or brands who are more mundane stuff too. Look, we are always on the lookout for talent.
Okay.
And that cuts across a number of different sectors. So developers, you're always in need, right? Even though Silicon Valley is getting just chopped up left and right right now. And it's not necessarily smart contract, because honestly, there's so many organizations building so many interesting things that smart contract devs are great, but we don't have need for those guys. Web3 is still 95% Web2.
Yeah.
So full stack.
Yeah.
100% need. We do a lot of our building in Unity, so Unity development.
Okay.
That also leads to, if you're building in Unity, you need somebody to build 3D models. You need 3D environmental designers.
Yes.
You need
Advanced.
designers in general to actually build out the sites on which our experiences live.
Okay.
And then to pull it all together, you need producers, you need project managers,
Yeah.
marketing teams. So across the spectrum, right now, our needs are mostly in the web dev, and very soon will be in the production side.
Okay.
And if you can sell, you will always have a job.
That is true.
Sales is always, whether
Sell
that's
yourself
connection,
first.
totally.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
But in the space, it's not, if you want to get into Web3, you don't have to be specialized in Web3. It really helps to have knowledge and insight into what happens. You don't have to be a Web3 native. You can experiment with the wallet. You can maybe have an NFT or two, but you don't need to be flipping JPEGs. You don't need to be buying, selling, trading.
Yeah.
You just know what it takes. You know what friction points exist. You have some base, and you're ahead of 99% of the people out there.
If you're getting in right now, you're guaranteed going to be in front of 99% of the people. It's just, I don't know. I've told a lot of people in the last 6 months, and it's so funny because you try to tell people that maybe aren't in Web3, now's the time, and they're like, oh no, I don't want to be in. It's like, no, the disservice would have been me telling you a year and a half ago to get in.
Yeah.
Now's the time. There's plenty of room for growth.
There is.
Oh, it's your turn.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I think it's yours, because I'm gonna win if it's my turn.
I know that I think you are, because remember you went 6. Yeah, 6 seconds.
I thought this whole time it was your turn.
No.
No, I've been talking and
You won.
Yeah.
You got me, yeah. You told me not to
Jacob
go there.
It's for my kids.
Shout out. You're next. Data skill. You talked a little bit, obviously, about how you're looking at candidates, if you will. You said about selling yourself. Everybody, we've heard it. Everybody always wants who's going to be outgoing, passionate, show me something unique. What's maybe something that people aren't thinking about that you look for in a candidate that makes them stand out, even specifically to your?
It's a great question. And I actually have the one thing that sticks out to me, and it's always a question I ask in every interview. And it's, what do you do with your free time? And if you are following the path that aligns with our organization, it's not like, it's great if you're hiking or playing soccer or doing other things, but for developers, if you're building indie games in your free time, you love what you're doing.
Yeah.
Right? If during your free time as a producer of project management, you're doing continuing education, you have other projects, like that's what I want to hear about, because it means you love organizing things. You love bringing various pieces together and creating a whole, right? If you have a side hustle on the side, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Because that means you're a hustler. And, in this space, you have to be a hustler. You have to be a grinder. You have to be, entrepreneur-ish, because there are no big companies to get jobs at. They're going to have very well-defined roles and responsibilities. You're going to be doing a lot of little things. And so it's less about education.
Mhm.
It's less, there's some education experience
Sure.
required, right? And personability. But tell me what you do in your free time. And if I can draw a line from that to what we need you to be doing, it's a huge leg up. And I can tell you that almost every person that I've hired who has been great has done what they do for works in some form in their free time.
It's a great soundbite. Yeah, you do try to find that and it's always because it's kind of got to be a different variation and maybe something you're also passionate about, because if it feels like work, you can't go from work to more work.
Right.
It has to be a true passion.
Yeah, that's why, some of our producers in the past have side hustles, selling businesses, building their own business online. I also have to be aware of the fact that if those businesses succeed, it might take them away from me. And that's
Sure.
okay, because growth is also important. Growth is not always easy to define in a startup. Like, it's not easy to say you're going to start as a junior accountant, and then you're going to move to accountant, then you're going to be senior, and then director, and then VP. And like that hierarchical framework doesn't necessarily exist in early organizations. So you also have to, you have to be willing to kind of play a role in various spaces and to flex into what the company needs.
I like it. We're here at NFT NYC. What does success look like for this event? For you, what are you looking to get out of it? And then maybe to tail end that, what in the next 90 days, this quarter, this summer, are you looking for?
Yeah, well, here at NFT NYC, I'm looking to meet with smart builders, and I will give you the biggest challenge I face this whole conference is that every event has some DJ playing loud music. I'm sitting here and I'm yelling when I'm 2 feet away from you, and I just can't have a conversation or meet anybody. I've been to an event, actually our friends over at Boardroom Ventures around the corner, you guys should totally have them. Had a rooftop party, no music, just ambient city sounds.
That's nice.
Smart people, builders, creators, social, sit down, have a smart conversation about interesting topics.
Sure.
That has been a big goal of mine, is just to start meeting smart people.
Okay.
Consuming some of the content. There's some really good sessions, and I'm speaking at the event as well. So
Nice.
to talk about super fans and community.
Nice.
And that is the entirety of my goal. It's a lot less about finding the right parties or going to galleries and things like that. It's just more about meeting smart people in the SNAP framework. It's about networking for me, and it's about access. So
I like good acronyms, and this is first time I've heard that. Anything left to shill, get out that we missed?
No, I think in general, the Non-Fungible Heroes project is launching Frontierverse on April 20th. So if this goes live before then, check it out. It's actually a really awesome drop. There's a really amazing creative team driving that project forward. On the agency side, if any brands are watching that are interested in entering the space and not sure how, great place to start with that. And then keep an eye for us community-wise. We're actually launching with RumbleCon League which is a Web3 native project.
Yeah.
We're also going to be launching with a Fortune 500 brand in the automotive space from a platform perspective in the next 90 days. So I'm excited about both of those.
For community members, do you specifically at Gen City have Discord? Where's kind of the engagement with you, or do you prefer to do with your, actual brand partner?
Typically, it's direct with brand partners. I am accessible. Hit me up on Twitter. I'm Shaman4646. You guys can drop a bottom third on there or something.
Down
There
at the
you go.
bottom. Yep.
We do have the NF Heroes, but that's a little bit more towards the
Sure.
NFT project. But
Sure,
yeah,
we can find you in that Discord.
I totally. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Discord. I'm pretty widely accessible and always happy to meet anybody who's interested in getting into the space. Anybody who's been in the space and isn't quite sure what their next step should be. I love having those conversations.
Well, that's great. Thanks for coming and giving me my first loss in Connect 4.
Happy to be the victor today.
It was a pleasure getting to know you, and we'll see you at the next. Awesome.
Thanks so
man.
much.
All right, thanks.